Hey, how you doing there again, folks? Me again, of course, Brandon Wenzel. Come back at you. Another offering. Off my sampler platter. Yes, indeed, folks. I'm playing a series of videos I've been doing for a little while. I'll go over there, try out food and drink items. I eat stuff, I drink stuff, then, folks, I'm going to talk about stuff. I'm going to let you know all that you need to know about hopefully delicious stuff. That time I'm doing this, folks, I'm not going to lie. This is kind of my breakfast, I guess. It's breakfast-ish time. But we'll get to that. Folks, it's super simple format. I'm going to go over there and try out food and or drink items for you. Whilst I'm doing so, I'm yammer on about it for a bit. Whilst I'm doing all that, I'm in my back room today, which means we get Peter Can Thunderbolt poster. Peter Can Thunderbolt poster. Whilst I'm doing all that, folks, I am doing something else. What is it, though? I'm wearing a super cool shirt. Folks, when I wear super cool shirts, I always like to highlight the super cool shirt. What super cool shirt am I wearing for you today? Happens to be my Corvin's Breed shirt. Yeah! I've worn this one in a number of reviews. But if you haven't seen those reviews, if you're unfamiliar with Corvin's Breed is kind of a one-man music project. He's actually been doing it for quite a while now. But, it started off, I think, more as like a traditional band, but as time went on, just, again, sort of the creative output really was, kind of more singular. But yeah, I ran into him a couple years ago at some shows that I was attending, and seemed like a really good dude. Really enjoyed his stuff, kind of industrial metal style. It's very much my type of stuff. And yeah, so I went over and picked up some merch. I got some pictures with him. Really enjoy his stuff. I actually like it so much, I've got some videos of his performance that I attended. Those videos are on my channel, just in case maybe you want to check them out. If nothing else, I'd be more than happy to kind of point you in the right direction as far as his music goes, because I think the guy's absolutely badass. But anyway, what am I trying for today, folks? What are we doing here? Why is it my breakfast? Well, it's my breakfast because, I'm a terrible, terrible adult, and, even though I could, with a fair amount of ease, make some, eggs and sausage, and so it's not hard. Breakfast is easy to make, typically. But I'm me, and I don't want to do a bunch of cleanup. So, instead, I went to my cupboard of many things that I can microwave, and I'm reviewing, boom! It is from OTOKI. Yeah, OTOKI. OTOKI. This is their Gin Spicy Ramen. Ooh. I am unfamiliar with this brand. I got it from I believe, a international, import store place. And, I've reviewed plenty of ramen over the years I've been doing this show. In fact, I have an entire playlist called Ramen Reviews, where I go over there and just post up, instant food-related reviews. That's where this is going to end up. So I'm always on the lookout for new ones to try. So let's go ahead and let's get a thing. And this was a simple one. It was just pour in the water, put it in the microwave. Bob's your uncle. Bob's my uncle. Let's get a thing for the thing. It looks like that. And we'll just go, ha 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 ha. Always love getting the noodle pull. Try out some noodles. I mean, for what it seems like fairly basic ramen. But let's try it out. That's not bad. Okay. Yeah, it is. It's fairly basic. I'll tell you exactly what it tastes like to me. It tastes like a less impressive Shin Black ramen. And I've reviewed, most of the Shin colored ramens. I think, are they from Samyang? I forget off the top of my head. But the Shin Black ramen is probably my favorite of the Shin flavors. Because it's rich, it's got some nice depth to the flavor, and it has a nice little kick to it. It's not crazy spicy, but it's got a little something that'll let you think about it. This is similar. It has a similar flavor profile, but everything is just slightly diminished. Not by a great deal, but enough that it's, for me, noticeable. And again, I'm a big fan of the Shin Black ramen, so I eat it with a fair amount of regularity. Because, yeah, the noodles are basic noodles, and they're fine. They're going to get the job done. The flavor, to its credit, is doing a good job of sticking to the noodles. That speaks nicely of the level of depth of flavor. Because there is like some richness and a little bit of depth. Not a lot, but it's there. Let me try some of the broth just by itself. Broth tastes good. I mean, there's a lot to be said for, you don't necessarily have to go that fancy when it comes to ramen to, get a nice product. And I feel like this definitely, yeah, that definitely feels what's kind of the case here. Like, it just seems like they have a nice broth that, again, has some depth to it, a little bit of a kick. And then, yeah, it's just, again, it's very similar to the Shin Black Ramen. I'm wondering if does it have a specific flavor that it's supposed to be? Okay, beef bone broth. Okay, so then that's exactly why. Because if you get the Shin Black Ramen, you can actually get two different types. You can get just the normal one, which is still very good by itself. You can also get one that uses bone broth to go over there and add to the richness. So yeah, basically what this comes down to is it's like a, slightly knockoff version of like the Shin bone broth black ramen. So, all right, cool. I appreciate that you get a big bowl of it. That's about my one point of contention with the Shin. The Shin flavors is typically they are a little bit on the small side. I like this. Because the thing is, like, even though, yeah, I'm just kind of lazy, and that's a big part of the reason why I make food like this, the thing is, like, I do actually genuinely enjoy a lot of these. Some of them are more, utility than others. Like your Maruchans, your top ramens. They get the job done. But there are some where, like, I genuinely will be excited about, if I'm coming home from work or something. I'm like, oh, that's right, I got some Shin in there, I'll go over there, So this, I would be excited for this. Maybe not as excited as, again, like the Shin Black, but, like, it's fulfilling a very similar role, and it's in a bigger bowl. I'm not unhappy about that. But two questions have to be asked. Would I get it again? Would I recommend it? I have to go with yes and yes. I am pleasantly surprised with this. I mean, I didn't come into this expecting it to be bad or anything, but you never know. When you go over there and you try out a new brand, sometimes you find one that, you really enjoy and you could tag in, on a regular basis. And other times you get ones where you're like, yeah, okay, I tried it, it's done. This is definitely one where, like, again, I wish I remembered what the price was on it. Because if the price is comparable to the Shin Black, and again, I'm getting more, for my money, I'm willing to go over there and take a little bit of a hit on the level of flavor for a little bit more. Because again, it's pretty comparable. It's not as good, but it's close enough that I'm not unhappy with it. Now, would it go over there and replace the Shin Black for me? No. Shin Black still quite possibly my favorite all around. And I do want that level of flavor consistency. But this is nice to have as an option. And again, if it's similar price point and more, it's a no-brainer. I would definitely add that into my roster. Now, if I'm recommending it, I think that, and I always mention when it comes to like these ramen reviews, there's sort of two people, right? You have like people like me who are using these basically as like meal substitutes, because we just can't be fucked, let's be honest. And then there's other people out there who are like proper adults who use these on occasion, maybe as a, lunchtime work thing or, something like that. If you're like me, I think this is absolutely one you should go for. It does have a little bit of spice to it that might, throw some people off. But I do have to emphasize, it's not crazy spicy or anything. Just kind of gives you some warmth at the back of your throat. It's a nice spice level, in my opinion. If you're a more, again, let's just put it, if you're just a better adult, if you're just holding your shit together better, I don't, maybe. Like, it's easy enough to make. The flavors are nice. It might be a bit much for, like, a work time break sort of thing. But all things considered, it's nice tasting and like the flavors are there. So yeah, I mean, I'd still recommend it. I think just again, it might not work in the most casual of circumstances, but anyway, 5 things before I get out of here. Have yourself a great rest of your day, spectacular rest of your week, monumental rest of your month, stupendous rest of your year, folks. Go over there and have yourselves a truly shin black-tastic rest of your life, because I love shin black ramen. It's so good. Final 2 things. Number 1, try to bring some positivity into the world. It's not always possible. It is, however, always appreciated. But what do you do if you can't do it all the time? I know I can't do it all the time. Here's what you're going to do, folks. You're going to try not to be an asshole. Now, folks, it's not always the easiest thing in the world to not be an asshole. Trust me. I know it. I live it. I'm out there every day with you in it. Life can be stressful and frustrating and just bullshit sometimes, folks. When we find ourselves in situations where we have to deal with said bullshit, it's important we go over there whenever possible. Take a step back, try to mitigate the level of assholishness in our lives, hopefully do better for ourselves and for those around us. Very final thing, folks, do the thing. Whatever the thing is for you, that's what I want you to go out and do. Folks, here's a question for you. Which category of people do you personally fall into when it comes to the ramen aspect of things, right? Are you more like me, where again, it's more of like a meal substitute thing? Or are you like a proper adult, where you go over there and like make real food most of the time, and just occasionally, sprinkle in some easy shit? Let me know. Be interested to see what my demographic on these videos is. Bye.